This is the 8th episode. We're your host. I'm Franco,
I'm Sophie.
and this is gonna be kind of like an origin episode. Today is different. No guest. Our first episode with no guest, which we probably should have started like this, but we're here now. And we just wanted to have an episode just talking about how we got here, why we have a podcast, like who are we, and like how everything came to be.
Yeah, just have a little bit more insight on, me, Sophie, and Franco as well, because I know you guys have a lot of questions, So we're going to start off from the very beginning.
So how me and Sophie met.
Genesis. Beginning. In the beginning.
A Bible reference.
Okay, so in the beginning, right? Before me and Jonathan became friends, we would kind of we would walk home, right? So that would create a yapping session. So it was just like, how long was it?
Wait, when was this?
This is middle school. This is like 7th grade.
We knew of each other, like 6th grade.
Yeah.
And for our elementary school, it went up to 6th grade. So middle school started in 7th grade. And yeah, we knew of each other. We were like, I guess we had mutuals.
Yeah.
But we weren't friends necessarily. Like I knew Sophie's friends.
I knew Jonathan's friends.
And that's kind of how we like began to know each other. But we didn't really talk much.
No.
But yeah, what Sophie's saying, like we were in a friend group incoming 7th grade. And then we walked home in the same direction. So that's kind of how it started. We just talk.
How long was that walk though?
The walk?
Yeah.
Honestly, it's a decent. It was like 20 minutes.
20 minutes. Yeah, so that's like a podcast episode right there. Like if we would have filmed all those walks, we would have probably been famous right now.
And it was dumb. It wasn't just after school, like during lunch too. It was just like dumb stuff.
Yeah.
Just a lot of the stuff that was going on at the time, like YouTube, like PewDiePie, Minecraft.
Yeah, we would only talk about like PewDiePie and like T-Series.
and memes.
Yeah.
Memes that were current at the time. That's what we talk about.
So you can kind of see like we kind of have similar humor in that way. So I feel like that's what really brought our bond like closer. Mm-hmm. But then something bad happened.
So the whole world changed. This
is the day the world completely changed.
Quarantine. Nearing the end of 7th grade, right?
Yeah.
That's when quarantine started. It was just random. There'll be a 2-week break.
Yeah.
And we were like, okay.
2 years later.
Sweet. We'll get a little break before school ends. That'll be fun. And then like coming into break, it's like, oh, actually it's not 2 weeks, it's 3 weeks. Mm-hmm. And then it was like, okay, school's over actually. So we're like, damn. So now we're in quarantine. And like, I mean, just like everyone, we're just at home, bored, not knowing what to do. There's no school, so there's no way for us to talk to each other. Yeah. We weren't really that like, I mean, me personally, I wasn't on social media much.
Me neither.
I think we only like exclusively talk. Oh no. Snapchat. That's what we would talk on.
Yeah. Until I got my phone taken away, so I had to communicate through Roblox. And through Roblox, I found about this amazing application or website called Discord.
Oh, you can hear. Okay, so we really only had Snapchat when we were in school, and then we coming out of school. Like Sophie said, she got her phone taken away, so we really didn't talk much out of school. And then through a mutual friend, I don't remember how it happened, but it was just on Roblox. I was friends with your friend on Roblox.
I remember.
And they had a Roblox group chat because you could make group chats in Roblox. And then it was super hard. I remember it was like, I don't know, it felt like a long time. It had to be like a week to try to get their username because on Roblox it has very like specific censorship.
Yeah.
So you can't. I think you couldn't say Discord. No. You couldn't say like specific parts of a username. So you had to like break the message up. But after a long time, eventually we got each other's usernames on Discord, and it wasn't just us. It was like a group of like five, 6 people.
Yeah, those were like my only friends. I like middle school when people tell me like, oh, like I didn't know you in middle school. Like, did you go to the middle school that we go to? And I was like, yeah, like, oh, like I never knew about you. And it was because like everyone is a different person from like who they were in middle school, of course. But like I was really shy. Like I could not go in front of a microphone and talk about anything. So it's really crazy to me how like, that middle school Sophie was like really quiet and I had like super bad social anxiety. And now it's like we bring guests to talk about
Yeah, a lot has
Everything.
changed. A lot has we definitely stuck there, definitely in our groups. I know me personally, that friend group was like like mostly all my friends. I had like a couple other friends besides that friend group with me and Sophie. But yeah, so we're on Discord now, and every day I would spend like I don't even know like 18 hours on the computer, just like playing games, just doing dumb stuff, just talking on Discord.
Yeah.
And after a while of just like talking through mutuals and stuff, we were like, because we would hop on Discord calls and we would just talk. We would talk for like forever, for hours. And we were like, this is such good content. We should do something from this. We should make something. So that's
it's like those memes, you know, where it's like, oh, like we should start a podcast.
But we started that. It was seventh grade. Seventh grade going to eighth. And I think when it really picked up was eighth grade, when online school started.
Yeah.
That's when we really started, like, we were like, let's do something. So that's when
the setup and all of that.
Yeah.
It was really bad. I remember like my setup wasn't a table and a microphone. I had to go inside the bathroom and connect a whole separate keyboard to my computer because my keyboard on my computer didn't work. And then I had to use those headphones that they give us for free from the school. I would use that microphone. And I would like just like put it really close to my mouth to like ear rape sometimes. Yeah. But what's it called? Yeah, like it was horrible setup. I don't think the quality was good at all for like it was just audio quality and like no actual footage of it. But we would all record it through a Discord call. Yeah. So it wasn't even synced like
it was so random too. We were just I tried to keep it organized because I was kind of like I don't know, it was my idea, so when I was taking all the credit, but it was my idea, so I tried to like organize all the ideas and stuff. It was just like it was a lot of like sending memes and stuff, and it was really unstructured. Some of us really wanted to like keep it structured, but there was other people, who remain unnamed, but they made things a little harder in the podcast.
I think we filmed just one, right?
We filmed one like no. Like, you're talking about, like, an actual episode we posted? We filmed two. Yeah. I remember I edited those. I made the thumbnails and stuff. Those
are, like, gone now. It's like, you can't find those.
No, yeah, those are long deleted. I still have them, like, stored somewhere, like, on a hard drive, but...
I actually do have them, too.
We don't talk about it. Oh, yeah, because you asked for it, and then I sent it to you a long time ago.
No. I had, like, the intro... We did like 20th. No, that was like 50th.
We really tried to make it look professional with our limited equipment. It was like we tried. Well, okay. So YouTube has this feature for anyone that doesn't know. YouTube has when you go to a YouTube channel, it has a trailer that you can put. So we were like, let's make a nice professional trailer, like a minute long video, so people know what this podcast. It wasn't this podcast. I don't know if we want to talk about what it was called, but. It had a different name. It had different people. It was just the same people every week. Yeah. Or not even every week, every episode, I guess. Yeah. And it was just like random topics that were like currently going on. And so we were like, let's record a trailer so people know what this would be about. And that single 1 minute long video took us like I don't even know, like multiple days at least.
Definitely.
Yeah. Lots of hours that we spent just trying to
I think that's why I have like back issues, because I was just in the shower. I was just like the whole entire time recording everything. Like,
hey guys, welcome back to. So with this podcast we talk about.
we could move on to like high school.
Yeah. So that didn't go that well. It was really rough scheduling because everyone like there was no studio. It was just us. So people would be like in their living rooms and stuff. I would tell my sister like, just don't make any noise for like an hour, please. And then like over time, people was like they couldn't show up on time, or they didn't care about it as much as we did. So it just slowly faded away over time. We're like, it is what it is. We privated the videos and everything, and we just moved on. And we're like, it was good while it lasted. It was funny, but it was very specific to quarantine. Like, you could tell that it was quarantine in those videos and stuff. It's very much like a period piece. Like, it's a part of that time period.
I guess just the humor of it, too, because we would just make a lot of references to a bunch of memes in that current time.
We were chronically online. We were just like children of the internet. We were always I mean, that was the only way to communicate.
Yeah.
But yeah, so eventually we all like, now I don't know about went our separate ways. We kind of chose friends from that friend group. If like, I don't know if you would agree with that, but I know
Yeah.
I went my own way.
I mean, I guess just the division between like classes too. Freshman year, it's
Yeah,
just
yeah, yeah.
like I had no classes with with Franco.
Because coming into freshman year, it's like it's completely different than any other year because you're coming out of quarantine. You haven't seen
Yeah.
people properly in like more than a year longer. So it was like a huge shift, and it was like if before like awkwardness and like social anxiety was like here, now it was like so much worse because we haven't seen each other in so long. So it's this whole new experience. So if you don't have a class together, you don't really talk with people outside of that.
Like,
So
asked to hang out after school or something like that. Like, well, with me, my parents were really strict with me,
Mm-hmm.
and like I couldn't hang out with any of my friends. Sports was something I couldn't join either. Like, well, I was in the basketball team and like tennis and all. I'm in so many extracurriculars now, but that's something I couldn't do freshman year. And well, kind of something that I set for myself was like, okay, I need to put myself more out there because like quarantine kind of messed that up, took that away from us. My 7th grade year, I wasn't interacting much with people besides that little friend group that I had. So I guess freshman year was like me hatching out of my shell, and that was like me actually like
I feel like our personalities changed so much just freshman year because coming out of quarantine, I was like extremely overweight because we just sit on the computer, play games, talk on Discord, never left my house like a lot of people, and yeah. So coming into freshman year, I joined sports. I wanted to make like a huge difference, and it's like that. It got to my head honestly. So I feel like my personality changed a lot freshman year, and yeah. So we kind of chose our friends. We separated within that friend group we used to have, and then we moved on. It was high school now, so we got new friends. We met new people, and me and Sophie just didn't really talk much.
Yeah.
And then where it came back, I guess, was coming into sophomore year. Well, not coming into, it had been sophomore year, but coming into sophomore year, me and Sophie had a class together.
Yeah.
It was AP World History. We referenced it before, with Mr. Gutierrez. We love you, Mr. Gutierrez.
This is a fun fact from the high school fools. That is actually the location that we recorded our first episode.
For anyone that wants to go back and check it out, that's where it was. He was super supportive, but I'm getting ahead of myself. So me and Sophie had this class, and how much do we want to say? Well, there was a lot of time. Oh, okay. So I love history. So Mr. Gutierrez is the kind of teacher that he really engages with you. So I would just ask a lot of questions. I like, even though my personality changed a lot freshman year, and I became more into sports and stuff, and not really much, like, I wasn't really into the stuff I was before. I've always liked to yap. I've always liked to talk and just like debate about dumb stuff. So I guess where we made that connection again, me and Sophie, is with Mr. Gutierrez. We just ask questions because he's a history teacher. He knows about like everything pretty much. So I would just ask him a lot of questions, and then me and Gutierrez would talk back and forth, and then other people would ask questions, and then so that's when we would talk. And then one day we had a substitute.
Yeah.
And
the one time we have a substitute, that's because we never had substitutes in that class. It was really rare because Mr. Gutierrez would show up. He would I don't know. He would always show up.
He was always there. So one time, it was super rare, we had a substitute. And I don't know how it happened. I don't know. It was so random. But I was talking to Sophie. And we would talk, just not really much. Because we both knew that the friendship had faded a bit. But we didn't really address it. It was just kind of we both knew about it without having to talk about it.
And I feel like there wasn't an opportunity to talk about it because we were there because of class. And we couldn't really conversate because of class, And
we didn't talk out of class, so that was kind of our only opportunity. So we had a sub. And I forgot how it happened, but when we started talking
about middle school.
We were man, things have changed so much. It's been we've grown up so much. Don't you miss how things were before? And I was like, I think that's what I said. And Sophie was like, yeah, she was agreeing with me. And I was like, because this was the smallest idea in my head. I didn't actually expect this to happen. But I was like, I've been wanting to start a podcast again.
And I looked at Jonathan in that moment and I was like, that would be pretty cool. But I didn't want to dive into the idea completely because I'm like, bro, like I just had a conversation with this man that I had to talk to in like
Yeah, it's been
months.
forever.
Like an actual conversation though, not just like small talk. It was like a full 50-minute conversation.
Yeah, because we had a substitute, so we were talking the whole class pretty much.
Yeah, and I really didn't know how to react to that because I was like, you know, I know it's not going to be the same, you know, because obviously, like, it would just be me and him. It was just me and him, you know, and I can't tell the other people because they weren't as interested as we were.
Yeah,
and
even
like,
back then.
Like what Jonathan said, I'm also a yapper, man. Like, with anybody, I just like talking about, like, dumb stuff, too, or, like, just go deep. Like, for me, deep conversations, that's what I like. Like, tell me what's going on in your mind. Like, kind of in a therapist way, man. But, like... Yeah, for me, I've always liked conversating with people about anyone, like any different type of people, you know, different personalities and stuff. And that's why, like, the guests that we bring, they're all very different from each other. And I feel like me and Jonathan will, you know, we really like to talk and yap a lot.
It could be about anything, about anyone, about issues, about whatever. And we just, like, if it's a conversation we like, it was debates, especially debates. Like, it's fun to just argue about dumb stuff just for the sake of it.
Yeah. So I really do think, like, you know, obviously, like, we kind of have the minds set for, like, a podcast. And now it's just a matter of time of, like, actually committing to it and saying, like, you know what? We are going to do this.
Even back then, where there was no, like, physical interaction. It was all over Discord. There was so many issues, and it was so hard to schedule, and it was so hard, like, technically speaking. But we were like, let's do it.
Yeah.
So that was what? That was, like, a couple months into freshman year. Around, like, December or before?
Wait, freshman year?
No, sophomore year.
That was like, I think that was like November.
Yeah, November, around that time. That's when we started. We're like, let's do it. And then we started like thinking about this, like what we talk about, and then like
we didn't really know exactly because you know, I was telling Jonathan, I'm like, hey, like, you know, a podcast of just you and me. I don't know about that yet. And like our idea was just obviously to have people.
But we both showed interest in the idea of starting it up again.
Yeah, and obviously like. I don't think people understand how hard it is to make a podcast because it's like we couldn't just be like, okay, we're gonna do a podcast. Okay, we're recording next week. No, this honestly took us a year.
People ask us all the time. They're like, they ask me. I guess they'll be like, oh yeah, I want to do a podcast, or like, man, my podcast would be so much better than you. Go for it, man. Like I don't care if you want to like compete or if you want to do your own thing. That I love podcasts. I think they're super entertaining. I love just having them on in the background. I love paying. I love listening to them. But it's so much work. Not only the equipment itself, around like everything. The estimated price is like what?
Well, it's okay. I'm gonna just say it's like $900 for like all of the setup and stuff, and we're borrowing like stuff
minimum. Too. Yeah, we still borrow other stuff, and like it was just a long time coming because it was super hard. We didn't really know what we needed.
I relied on my Compton college money. Because of that, I was able to get like so many stuff. But I think the equipment part was definitely something that like made us lag on it. But I feel like each time I would buy like something for the podcast, it would feel like a step closer.
Yeah, it was like a progress bar in a video game, like slowly getting there.
We got the pop filters, or like we got the microphone stands today.
Yeah, it was like so we got the microphones. We can't record yet because we don't have a recording device, but we have the microphones.
Yeah, and then like I remember thinking I feel like as soon as I think it was the summer we got the last piece. It was like I think it was I don't know.
We're like, oh man, we're gonna have so many episodes out. We're gonna be so ready.
and what was it called? Well, we were like, damn, we need a room.
Yeah, and we're okay. Maybe we could rent out some spot. Maybe there's like an office or something. It's like $50 an hour or something.
Yeah.
We're not making any money off of this. I don't know if we could afford that. And we're like, okay, maybe like, I don't know, some public location. But then it comes with like audio issues and technical difficulty. And it's like, it's such a hassle. So we ended up, we're like, let's make a club. Because I feel like when we have a club, it's a lot more accessible. Like, hey, can we use this club? Can we use this classroom or something for the club? It's
because like, well, when we filmed our idea was to film with our history teacher. Mm-hmm. But there's complications.
It was just really complicated scheduling. Yeah. Like no one wants to have a bunch of kids yap in their classroom for the whole lunchtime and ruin their lunch. And it's like every week consistently, and then also having to schedule with the guest. It's just it's super time consuming. But I mean, we enjoy it. That's why we do it. But it's not easy.
Yeah.
So
There's so many, like, even though we have, like, I would say, like, some of the best equipments, like, we still have so many technical difficulties.
yeah,
like,
there's always bound to be stuff like that. If you don't have like a professional studio and like stuff that you can leave somewhere every time, there's bound to be things that happen. That's why there's so many delayed episodes. That's why there's so many technical
like-
difficulties. Like, we're praying that this goes well right now.
If you ask any of like our previous guests from episode 1 to 7, like they understand the complications, like the rescheduling, and it's because obviously like we're very limited because we filmed this during lunch. Well, this one not during lunch,
Thank
but I feel like we're trying to fit in so much content that we kind of just speed through.
We're really trying to figure out like how to do this consistently and what we want to do with this, because it's like we've tried before and it's just really hard. That's why we promised like weekly episodes before, but it's really hard to maintain that, especially as like when it's like a side thing that we earn no money from, which is fine because we like doing this.
Yeah, I feel like that's like the best thing about it though. It's like we actually enjoy just being in front of a camera, microphone, and just talking about like what's in our mind or whatever.
If it, like, it's weird because I don't know, some episodes don't come out as smoothly, or sometimes the conversations aren't as like casual, but it's mostly because we don't have enough time. The weird thing is, it's not that like, it's not an awkward conversation or anything. It's just like, I feel like some people, it takes some time getting used to and comfortable in a conversation.
I was about to say that I would pay someone to do this, but no, I feel like someone would do it. But I was going to say that if you go to the first episode all the way to, well, the current episode is the 7th episode, and you count how many times me and Jonathan look at the clock.
Yeah, it's always
we're always like,
even when we're not in school, like it's always been like time constraint, and it's always been like that one time we were at someone's house. Like I had to go, which was horrible timing. But it's just it's always a time constraint. Like in a perfect world, we just be able to record as long as we want to for like an hour or longer. We just be able to have a conversation with the person about whatever they want to. But it's just people are busy and scheduling is hard, and we can't really like.
It's just a bunch of things that are out of our control, I guess, that really like make us go different directions. Like we should do this. No, I think we should do this or that, and like rescheduling and all of that.
It's a lot of complaining though, but we really do enjoy this. We enjoy like.
I feel like if we hated this, we would have stopped a long time ago.
Yeah, no, there's been so many struggles along the way, and like the only thing that's kept me going is the fact that I actually like enjoy. Okay, horrible timing. There was just the video just stopped, but everything's fine. What was I saying?
That you enjoy this.
Oh yeah, we enjoy doing this, which is like why I've kept going.
Even if the video stops.
And it's kept my motivation up. Like we've done like the episode we did with Luna, a close friend of ours. That took us, like, you guys probably won't believe it, but that took us like 8 hours. Yeah. We started
like at 12 and I ended up at like 8 p.m.
It was rough. But we enjoy this, which is why we keep going, and we persist no matter what. But yeah, with enough of that yap being said, with enough of the origin story of High School Fools. Oh, quickly, let's talk about the name. Because it's probably random to some people. It's probably like a little bit corny.
It's the lamest name I've ever heard. You guys are
dumb. Oh, high school dorks.
That's what they said. Yeah.
Who listens to that dorky podcast? You know what, man? It's not dorky. Like, whatever. But yeah, the name. We're in high school. That's pretty self-explanatory. We've always like made it a point to our podcast that's different from our podcast that we're little kids. Like, we're not little kids, but we give a lot of opinions that like most adults, most people don't hear, because it's just who really cares. Whenever like it's some child or some teenager talking, it's like it's not usually like serious. So we figured like something special about us, about our podcast, is that it's like the youth. Like as corny as that sounds, it's like us voicing our opinions about things and explaining how we feel about certain things. Usually don't get that. Like most podcasters, most like content creators are over 18. They've already they're doing their own thing now. They're adults. Yeah. So what makes us unique is that we're still children. We're still teenagers. We're still like figuring things out, and we're like, we feel differently than other people. We just want to express how we feel about that.
Yeah, like, well, the Fools part of it, like, obviously we named it High School Fools, you know, and I remember telling Jonathan, I was like, I mean, it rhymes with high school, so the Fools. And I was like, but it makes sense though. It's like, we're just here like kind of fooling around in a way, but it's like,
it's just, yeah, like, we never take anything we say too seriously.
Because it's like High School Fools. The name itself should tell you kind of how the podcast is gonna go, you know. But obviously, we're open to like serious conversations too. But the thing is that, well, like we're kids, we're still young, like Jonathan mentioned. So it's like we don't want to come off as too strongly passionate about.
It's never too serious. It's never that serious.
It's just a podcast.
We
man.
just enjoy doing this. We enjoy talking, so we figured out. We figured we record it. Maybe some people don't enjoy it. Maybe some people don't watch it.
Some people hate it so much. Like some people like actually do hate it.
Yeah, I don't get that. It's just like we do it for fun. If you don't like it, you don't have to watch it.
I feel like there's people that watch our episodes like entirely and they just hate our episode. Like if you hate it so much, block us. Don't listen to us.
Or give us like $5 so we can like get better equipment or something. Like if you, it's really like. I don't know. We've been working a lot towards this, and we realized that right now it's not like the best we're ever gonna. Like each episode is getting slowly better. I feel like. Yeah.
We learned so many things.
If you go to the first episode, there's like half of the episode the camera is like pointed at the ceiling, so that's fun. Yeah, but like what's up?
My microphone is like this, and that's not because I'm shy or anything. It's just that we didn't know how to work the microphone.
Every episode we learned something different. Like we didn't even know there was issues with stuff. But yeah, we're getting there. Like I feel like every episode we get better. I feel like eventually we'll be to the point where every episode is like consistently good, and that's what I'm hoping for. But that takes time, and we're willing to wait.
Yeah.
But yeah, with that being said, before the episode, we requested questions from the audience. There wasn't many questions, but there was some good ones that we saw. And we just want to go through a couple, talk about those, talk about what you guys want to say.
Okay, so we can start out with what's it called?
So we did two separate ones. We did one anonymously. We asked you guys questions anonymously, and then we did another one through Instagram, so we could see your usernames and stuff. Just if you guys wanted to shout or something.
Okay, so this person right here.
Okay, so my friend AB, if you're watching this, I hope you are. He has favorite artists right now. This is random because it's not like a current artist, but me and my friend had a conversation about this recently. I've been listening to a lot of Mac DeMarco recently. I mean, I always have, but more so recently because it's always like, I don't know, it's perfect for when you want to relax or when you want to think and just stare at your ceiling. It's super like calm, just like mellow music. There's some happy songs, there's some mellow songs, but I'm really enjoying Mac DeMarco right now. How about you, Sophie?
Well, as of recently, man, it's because I've been listening to the same 5 songs every day. And that's because, it's because they said favorite artist right now. So this is currently, you know? But I've been listening to the same, like, Under the Sea has been I think it's going to be my number 1 on Spotify Wrapped. And I fear it might actually come true.
You want to explain why?
Okay, well, guys, I'm a theater kid. And I'm Sebastian for, what's it called? I'm Sebastian for The Little Mermaid. So, like, I have to lock in and listen to the song a million times. And I seriously can't listen to anything else. And then the other 4 songs are for, like, a little talent show, right? So I can't, like, if I listen to another song, it's like, I should be listening to the other songs because those are the ones I need to memorize.
I'm wasting time. I should be practicing right now.
But aside from those, like, when I do listen to music that's not that, I've been listening to, like, a lot of... Because 2 of my favorite artists have recently, like, launched an album. And it's Girl in Red. If you know, you know. And then Conan Gray as well. It's, like, a pop artist. And then aside from that, like, bands that I listen to is just, like, Paramore and Radiohead. But, yeah, those are, like... I think those are going to be in my Spotify Wrapped. And I don't know how people are going to judge me by that, but that's just what I've been listening to.
Be proud of it.
Yeah.
Shout out to you, AB. Here, let's look at another one. Chicken Bussy says hi. Hi.
Hello. Hi from the high school fools.
Let's skip that one.
Okay, yeah, we're going to skip a couple because, you know, it's a little questionable.
You hooligans.
You fools.
You can talk about that one if you want.
Okay, so this is from a teacher. If you guys don't know, our audience is like very different people, of course. But in terms of age, you know, we have some teachers too. We have Mr. Reed following us too. A bunch of teachers like Mandarin teacher, I believe. Just different teachers, you know. People are cool like that.
So Miss M, the music teacher, she's asking, can we get any teachers to guest star on the podcast? Actually, we've had, since the beginning episode, like we referenced Gutierrez, we have people that want to come on. It's just like we want to set a certain standard. Like you have seen with the episodes, there's been some technical difficulties. We don't want that to happen while we have a teacher on or anything. We don't want to have to like re-record episodes. So we're just trying to get the formula right before we have anyone on. Like we want to seem more professional by the time we get there. But we will have people on, and there's some people that are really
on their way.
They're excited to get on, and they'll be coming soon.
Yeah, and also, well, I feel like this is a question. I'll skip through that one. Okay, so the next question is from someone named Raquel.Niza. And it says, what do you guys like most about the podcast?
I think, here, let me try not to sound too corny, but I like enjoying people like tell stories. It's always fun just like hearing like personal stories. You don't really get that from like those AI generated Reddit TikToks. If you know, you know. But just hearing people's personal stories, hearing like people talk about their problems and stuff. I don't know. So that's what I enjoy. I like people sharing like personal things about themselves that like you can't really get anywhere else.
Yeah. Well, for me, the thing that I like most about a podcast is, well, I feel like I really do enjoy bringing in people. And well, in this case, it's not just me by myself. You know, it's like Jonathan too. He's over here talking about what he thinks and thoughts and whatever. But I feel like I'm really open-minded. Like, I'm heavily open-minded. I feel like I could have some sort of belief, and they could have the opposite of that. And I'm not going to be like, but I think this, no, stop, you know?
Yeah.
I'm just like, I want to hear you out. I want to know, like, why you think that way. I want to, like, put myself in your shoes. So that's why when we bring people, like, come to the podcast, it's like, it's really interesting for me to consume what they say, and it's also like what I'm gonna say too, responding to it. And this is exactly what a podcast is supposed to be about, you know, like just having that back and forth.
Yeah, I'm typically a super stubborn person, but I try to keep myself open minded, and I try to. I am not really like picking anyone's side, like my own or their side, so I just have to try to stay in between. We haven't really done much of like debating or arguing so far, but I think we're looking forward to that in the future.
Yeah, because it has to be like everyone participating, not just two people going back and forth, you know? And I think that's why me and Jonathan, I forgot to mention this, but we're very different from each other.
No, yeah, totally.
And I feel like that's kind of like the balance from the podcast. So it's like, no matter how you want to see it, you know, it's like, I feel like there's things that Jonathan brings to the podcast that I don't, and there's things that I bring into the podcast that he doesn't. So it's like, I think having that is really good, because if we had two Sophies, it probably wouldn't work out. If we had two Jonathans, it'd probably wouldn't work out. So I feel like that's why, you know, I think it's
that's
good.
why there's two hosts. For anyone asking, that's why there's two hosts, because if there was just one, then there'd be no high school, there'd be no fools. Yeah. Moving on to the anonymous questions.
So this is anonymous. Yeah, these are the anonymous.
These were anonymously submitted. Let's give that one.
So someone said, why have I not had an episode?
We're getting there. There's some people that you don't have to show them.
It's because like the grammar, I don't want them to think
yeah. They said, why have I not had a video? But yeah, we're getting there. If we promised you an episode, or we told you we have you on the list, we'll get there eventually.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people waiting. There's some important people waiting. We're getting there.
Everyone's important.
Give us some time.
Yeah. It's just that like obviously people that continue asking us, those are the people we like normally go to, and obviously the people that are like, well, it's a secret.
You have to wait. Coming soon. Okay, we have a really someone asking for some advice, which I actually love these. I'm excited to answer this. Someone asked, how can I tell if I'm in love or if I'm really attached? Sophie, you want to take this one first?
Okay, so let me read this out loud. How can I tell if I'm in love or if I'm just attached? Okay, so obviously I feel like there's a lot of people that fall out of love, but they're still attached. And it's just because they have this idea of this person, like they've been with them for so long. So it's like they can't, no matter what they do, it's going to take them such a long time. So I don't know exactly what this current situation is here, whether like it was mutual or not. But like, I feel like, what's your definition of love?
Well, I think love depends on each person. I think once, like, it's it's such a strong feeling that once you don't really understand it until you see it. Like you could say like there's people that don't really stick to a relationship. They just kind of like bouncing around different people.
Just to have
And
fun.
I think once you meet a certain someone that kind of clicks right with you, you'll get it. I think some people take love too seriously in the way that I think people assume there's like that like destiny and there's like a chosen one for you, and I don't think that's very good way to look at life, because that makes it seem like it takes the responsibility out of the relationship. I feel like you could really work out with anyone if you guys click together and you guys have um interest about the same about similar things, or not even if you guys just care about each other a lot and you guys genuinely want a future together, then I think you could almost always figure it out as long as you two work together in a healthy way. I think regardless of who it is, I think it could be someone that goes to your high school, someone that you've never met in your whole life, someone that you've known your whole life. Like I think regardless, you can always figure it out and make it work. I think just love is something that you actually like. It's feeling so strongly towards someone and genuinely caring about someone to the point where you're willing to make it work.
Yeah. Well, I feel like my definition of love would be like, no matter what bad decisions this person make, you still have some sort of love to them. And I feel like that's why a lot of relationships fail, because it's like the one time, love is like, oh, hugs and kisses and presents and nice comments and stuff. But like, I feel like when it's finally revealed, it's when something bad happens. And obviously the way that they react to that situation is like where it determines, because a lot of relationships end really quickly because something bad happens and it's over. We don't work. And the thing about love is like, it can't just be happy times the whole entire time.
If anything, that makes things worse. Because you can't, I feel like what makes a strong relationship isn't that you guys don't argue. It's that if you guys argue, you can get through it, or you can fix things like afterwards. Because like some people, they just don't really argue, or some people, they don't really get in the way of each other. But once you get to that point, and if you guys, like, you're not good at problem solving, then things aren't going to work out.
I feel like it has to do a lot with like yourself too. Because if you have an issue with someone, it's like, you can't just stay why you're right. You have to hear out the other person. So obviously, like, love would be wanting to hear the reasoning, wanting to fix, wanting to do something about the problem. I feel like that's
you have to care enough to that point. It's not just an infatuation with that person. You don't just like think they're pretty. You don't just like when you're around them, they make you happy. It's everything altogether. You have to care about that person. You have to care about your relationship. And I think they're asking just really attached. I think when you say attached, it's just, I think it's unhealthy to an unhealthy level.
I feel like attached is like, if you feel attached to someone, that means you're just like, I guess, really extremely lonely. Because it's like, or if I'm just really attached. Because love, as we explained, is like something really strong and very like, something very outside of being attached. And attached is just like, you just want to be with this person for the sake of not feeling lonely. And love is like obviously something where it's like a feeling where you're with this person and you like being around this person, whether it's no matter what's happening, just in silence or talking to them. So I feel like you could define what love is and what an attached is by knowing exactly your definitions of what love is and what attached is.
Yeah. I mean, obviously it depends by each person. But if you need fulfillment to come from someone else, that's not going to work out. No. You need to be fulfilled. You need to feel fulfilled within yourself before a relationship, or at least you need to get there during, because if you rely on the person, or if you can't be without the person, that's not healthy. And that's what I would call an attachment. If it's love, then it'll be a mutual thing that it's beyond kissing, it's beyond hugging, it's beyond just like being nice, giving flowers. It's about caring about your relationship.
It's the mutual part of it, because attached is like, okay, you're the one that's attached, but are they attached to you?
Are they giving you the same energy? Are they giving you the same respect?
It's not being reciprocated. So obviously, like, I feel like knowing those two definitions, those two perspectives, you kind of get your answer.
You just, if it's healthy, then I would say that's love. If it's healthy on both parts, then it's equal. But yeah, that's enough of the
we're just high school fools. We're just a couple of fools. If
anything happens, don't take it too seriously. It's not that deep. We're gonna skip this one. How did you two meet? We kind of went in about that. It was 6th grade. It's just mutual friends.
7th grade.
It wasn't that big of a school, so we just kind of saw each other around. 7th grade is when we really got closer.
Gutierrez.
Yeah, someone would argue that's when we met the second time. Who would you say is your closest friend? Someone's asked.
I'm scared. Answer first?
You go first. You go first.
Okay, so who would you say is your closest friends? So guys, this question is kind of scary because like, you know, everyone's my friend, man. Like I'm cool with everybody. I love everybody.
We just why can't we just all get along, man?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, bless love.
Like
Let's take it like this. I think what defines
let's define what a close
I
friend
think what
is.
define a close friend is someone you can like. I have friends that I don't really talk to, but I know that like if I send them a meme I can send them a meme every once in a while. I can talk to them like every couple months, and they're still like a close friend. It's just a friend is someone you can rely on, like regardless of the situation, regardless of how much time has passed. I have friends from years ago that I haven't had a full conversation from, but I know that like if they ever need anything, I'd be there for them. Because it's just once you build a connection with someone to that level, you like if you can feel like you can rely on someone. If you can make someone feel like they can rely on you, I feel like you could rely on them. Obviously not everyone, but I feel like that's what a close friend would be. Yeah. Someone you can like expect them to be there for you, like regardless of the situation.
Yeah, I feel like I have people that like, let's say these two people, I bring them in and I say they're both equally my close friends. There's people I haven't revealed like my secrets, but I would consider them my close friend. There's people that know about like all about me, but it's like they're still my close friends.
There's definitely levels to it. There's some people that you're like super close with. There's some people that
I feel like a close friend is just someone where you don't have to think so much about what you say. It's just like you just say and like you just. It's like a conversation, or sometimes just like being next to them and having silence.
I feel like really close friends are a lot like siblings. Like they'll be honest with you. If like
the honesty part is big.
Sometimes you guys fight, but you still get over it eventually.
I don't fight with my friends.
Well, no, I mean like sometimes there's
actually I get what you're
sometimes
saying.
There's rumors that you hear, but like just being able to be honest with your friend, like hey, this is what actually happened, like and being able to trust them and believe them.
That's why a lot of friendships end because you don't conversate about them about
and those
stuff.
That's what I would consider a not close friendship.
Yeah, and that's obviously like if that happens, it's like really a close friend if they rather go by things that people are saying. Because a lot of the issues I've had with my friends, it's just like I conversate to them about it with which like communication, of course, you know, which is something that people are too afraid of or just don't do it because they think they're right or they have all the reasoning. But I definitely do think that a lot of the friendships that I would consider to be really close with me are people that no matter like the bumps along the road, like we still end up being buddies in the very end, which obviously it's not all rainbows and sunshines all the time. So I feel like that's when you can really determine what a close friend is. And the people I consider close friends, I've had bumps along the road with them.
Some of my closest friends, I definitely like I've argued with them. Like I've been like super upset with them, but like it's about forgiving them. If they're genuinely your close friend, then you'll forgive them because they explained how they felt, or you explained how you felt, or whatever. But you work things out. Yeah,
exactly. And I do think like forgiveness is a big part that people don't have nowadays. It's just like, I'm right, you're wrong, I don't care, don't talk to me no more. And I feel like it's really unfortunate because there's people like I've had really close friends, like best friends, like I would consider them, like I would talk to them every day and then just one day it all goes bad and they never talk to you.
And then you realize like that was never really a friend.
Yeah, because they didn't want to work it out with you, and I think that's the issue in that part.
Here, moving on to the next one. Which one was it? How do you to me? What would you? Okay. That's not real thing. Favorite music genre, Sophie? Okay, guys.
This is one of my favorite questions, actually. But I listen to all sorts of genres. But
K-pop.
That's your favorite genre?
No, that's yours.
No, that's not my favorite genre. But I listen to all sorts. I've listened to K-pop before. I feel like with every genre, I know a lot of groups. I just like knowing about music. But I feel like my main genres is probably like definitely punk music and like indie rock and perhaps like what else? Just a lot of like alternative music in a way. But that's what I tend to listen to a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I'm one of those people that'll say I like everything because I really do like everything. But my main genres probably be like indie indie. I like rock. I like indie rock. And there's like Kendrick Lamar, classic. But I really do like everything. I mostly listen to indie because I like relaxing. I like just going with the wind. But I like some Taylor Swift songs. I like some like Spanish songs, some like romance songs. I like all sorts of things really. I'm not the kind to be like to just stick to one genre. I like everything.
I don't understand how people do that. Like they
I think
just
it's just-
like rap music or just Mexican music.
I think it's just for others, like to just tell other people, oh, I like this, and not everything else. Everything else is stinky. I can't. I think it's just like an appearance.
Because I grew up with like a household just listening to like Spanish music, you know, whether that be like cumbias or like just norteño music or anything like that. But like nobody introduced me to like punk music or rock music. I kind of just found out about that, and I feel like me knowing that my parents like different genres and like it kind of like my friends, like a lot of the music recommendations come from my friends. So I feel like I just kind of like to swim around like a lot of genres. Like I listen to some crazy genres too. Like it's just like
I mean, also we're still growing up. We've definitely had like phases with some kinds of things.
Yeah.
I don't really want to get that into it. I don't think you.
I would want to get into it. We could have a whole episode about that. If you like music, if you like all genres, we should bring you into the podcast.
Comment
just
down
talk
below.
about music.
Yeah, we're one of those what do you call it? Audiophilia? I don't even know. The next question: how do you guys handle haters? Sophie, you want to start with this?
Kind of just laugh.
Yeah, it's never really that deep. I'm always the kind of guy that like, I don't really care that much about most things. Like if someone tells me my podcast is shit, then like, okay, you don't have to watch it. I like doing it, and like I said earlier, we're still working on making things better. So I get that it might not be the most professional, but I enjoy doing it, and the people that we have on enjoy being on. If it's not kind of your kind of thing, I get that. There's some podcasts that I don't like watching either. But I don't really care about if people are upset by that or if they don't like it or if they call us dorks.
Someone,
I think it's funny.
Someone came up to me and they're like, someone told me, based on the voice, you could probably tell who it is. It was like, someone told me that your podcast is shit. And I was like, whoa, I was like, really? Yeah, they were like, they hate it. And I was like, oh, I mean, it's a podcast. I know everybody's gonna like it. And I feel like they expect like a reaction out of us, like,
no,
like our hearts to be broken and stop filming. But we're not gonna stop filming no matter what people say.
We do this for fun. Like we don't do this because we get paid or because we get anything from anyone. We just do this because we enjoy doing it. I feel like
we're also just really used to like having opposite, just not agreeing with people. So it's like, okay, you might dislike this podcast, but like we like it. So, and I feel like if you just strongly like, I don't know what the word is, but if you just like the podcast, you know, we know all the complications it takes, and like as we mentioned, so many things have happened where we could have just quit and like stopped.
Like you guys might get an episode and you're like, man, this audio sucks, but then it's me that was like, so the mics actually didn't record the whole episode. So instead of scrap the whole episode, let me try to get the camera audio and let me try to boost up the signals and blah 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 blah, and spend like 2 hours trying to edit the audio to sound even close to like decent.
I think we just really like, no matter.
I think we're just high school fools, man.
I think it's just like we put so much work to it. Yeah. We're not gonna hate it because we like put our everything to it. So it's like if you hate it,
even if it's ass, it's my ass.
What?
Right? No. It's like we work so hard on this. It's art. Cut that out. I'm not going to. I'm the only one that edits it. That's too much work.
I'll make sure to clip this on the Instagram Reels.
But yeah, moving on. Also, I think some people just care too much about what other people think. Like, if you comment on our Instagram or whatever, thank you, first of all. But if you
comment your hate comments on the Instagram
please
Reels.
do on YouTube, on anything. If you could like it too. But it's like some people, especially in high school, they care so much about their appearance and what other people think of them. Like, yeah, we're kind of corny. If we're being honest, we're corny, but it's whatever. I think it's fun. I think it doesn't have to be that serious. I don't care if we're corny. Yeah. But yeah, moving on. Hardest part of the podcast. What do you think?
I think just getting anything.
Scheduling, maybe. scheduling is a hard thing because it's like so I'm free this day and she's free this day, but
I think the location is the hardest
oh
part.
yeah no definitely because we could have the equipment and everything, but it's just like if we don't have a quiet room to record in, then we're it's like what are we gonna do?
I think that like some crazy stuff that's happening, like the technical difficulties is just the lights going off completely,
The fire alarm going off.
fire
That
alarms
was
going
rough.
off, and it's just random people in the hallways running around and screaming. Someone walking by the hallways going "fuck the podcast." So it's like we never know what's coming.
Yeah.
So we're kind of always just prepared for the worst. Like this table could explode right now, but we've already experienced worse than that.
Here, let's go on to the next one. What podcast do you guys listen to? You can talk about this first. Give me 1 second to reply.
Okay, so the podcast that I listen to, well, it's very different from the high school fools. It's kind of crazy how I'm a part of a podcast where it's like we talk about anything, you know. But the podcasts that I listen to specifically are just like a lot of self-help podcasts because I like to at least make an effort to making my life a little better. But yeah, definitely like a lot of, I can't name exactly a podcast, but there's like a lot of episodes. I just like listening to random like self-help episodes and like just conspiracy and sports related podcasts. That's what I tend to listen to a lot. So like if someone were to tell me to listen to a certain podcast, I would be up for it no matter of what it is.
Yeah, sorry about that. But yeah, no, me too. I've always listened to podcasts. That's why I got into it. I was like, man, I love this. I mostly listen to comedy podcasts, big ones too. The official podcast with Moist Critical, Penguin Z0. I like that one a lot. TMG podcast. Wait, Tiny Me Gang. Yeah, TMG podcast with Noah Miller and Cody Ko. I've always liked that one. I like sports ones too. I'm a big 49ers fan, if anyone knows me personally. So 49ers Talk with Mami Yoko. I like that one a lot. But yeah, I consume a lot of podcasts. I'm almost, if I'm home or if I'm cleaning or like if I'm anywhere, I'm always listening to a podcast because it's just like I like hearing people talk and I like like just taking in information.
Just like a lot of, well, I listen to like a lot of commentary having to do with like pop culture. So like I guess just any recent news about like literally anything like about social media having to do or celebrities or stuff like that. I like to hear out people's perspectives and just like like having a podcast in the background just gets a lot of work done as in your room and stuff like that.
I think we're gonna skip this one. Okay, sorry for the cut. Moving on to the next question. The last question, talk about football. Not a question for Franco specifically for me. I know who this is. I mean we try to cover a lot of topics, but it's kind of just on the guest. We will get some football guys on soon. We will get some teachers on soon. We're going to get all kinds of people on. Just give us some time. We're working on each person getting their own episodes and topics. We want to get more episodes in like this where me and Sophie can just talk about our interests and stuff because that's kind of how it started. So we're trying to do a little bit of everything. So if you want to listen to a specific topic, leave it down in the comments.
I feel like we should definitely have something. Well, obviously, this is for us to discuss separately, but like certain topics that you would want for me and Jonathan to talk about.
If it would mean so much to us if you would leave comments on the videos, the Instagram, whatever it is. Just tell us what you want to hear about. We'll try to get a guest that likes that kind of topic, or me and Sophie will talk about it. Just us. Just tell us all these. Give us like recommendations about podcast episodes you want and stuff. But yeah, we have a lot coming soon. We have a lot planned for the future. I feel like this episode kind of marks a start. Hopefully everything goes well. I don't want to jinx it, but we just wanted like an episode to kind of explain why we're here, why we have a podcast, who are we,
just answering a lot of questions that you guys have.
Let us know what you guys thought about this segment. Maybe you guys ask for more advice. If you guys are interested, leave it in the comments. Text. Okay, we would prefer you leave a comment. But if you guys are too shy, you guys are too scared, just DM us on Instagram, High School Fools. Any recommendations, any interest you guys have, anything you want to hear, anything at all, we would really appreciate that. Sorry.
Well, I was just gonna say, just looking at the patterns of the guests that we bring says a lot. None of them are alike or similar. They're all very different, and that's like what we want. So I feel like you shouldn't shy away from if you want to be a guest, and you think maybe the topics you're interested in aren't really like interesting.
We'll talk about anything, anywhere, anytime. Even if you're like it's hard for you to talk on camera, we get that. We were like that once too. We'll try to help you out with it. Just if anything, just text us. We'll talk to you.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you guys for listening. I hope that we explained everything. Well,
Part 2.
I hope that you guys.
Part 2.
That's the plan. I hope that you guys enjoyed this episode. It was a longer one. We like this kind of format. We're trying to keep longer episodes. Let us know. Maybe it was too long. Whatever you guys think, please just give us feedback about anything at all. If you hate it, say you hate it.
Say it on the comments,
please,
though, so the algorithm can catch it.
Leave us as many comments about how much you hate it as you can. In all seriousness, like the video. We would really appreciate that. If you liked it, you liked it. If you didn't, you don't have to like it, I guess. If you're not subscribed already, please subscribe. We really appreciate that. If you're listening on anything on Spotify or any other platform that we have, please leave a review, like it, whatever you have to do. It helps us a lot more than you would think. If we're not on any platform that you want to listen to, I don't think we're on Apple Podcast. I don't think we're on that. If you want that, we could try to get on there, but it's just so far no one has showed us interest besides YouTube and Spotify. But if there's anything else you want, please let us know. Thank you guys for listening. There's a long one. We'll see you guys for part 2. With just me and Sophie. We'll talk about what we have planned for that. Coming soon. Yeah. And we have a lot of guests planned for the future. So just really excited for the future of High School Fools Podcast. We've been the Fools. And we'll catch you guys later. Bye.
Bye, guys.